What's up, y'all? We're here. We got Aerodactyl, and they are looking mighty clean. Where should I start with these guys? Nothing to address immediately. Like the way I structure these is, anything super weird or something that people are going to want to hear answers about or logic for is addressed first. But in this case, there's nothing like that. Everything is very logical and fitting. So I can get straight into the viability. So base Aerodactyl kind of sucked. What I could maybe address is how a lot of people have this thought where it's like, give Aerodactyl Brave Bird and Rock Head. Give Aerodactyl Head Smash and Rock Head Smash should definitely fucking have in real games. I don't know why it doesn't have that. Brave Bird, I have a personal ick with giving non-birds Brave Bird because there are birds that get Brave Bird that make total sense, but then there's like the only non-bird that gets Brave Bird is Crobat in the real games, I believe. And I didn't give it to Crobat because he has Aerolate, and yeah, same thing here. So Aerodactyl has no need for Brave Bird anymore. And if you aren't running Aerolate, you have tons of other great flying stab that I'll cover in a little bit. So you don't need Brave Bird at all. The reason they don't have Rockhead, or in this case it would be Headstrong, is because Archeops rather. I don't know why I said Archeops. I never say Archeops. Archeops. Archeops is the other rock flying type besides Minior, who is physical as well. They have a lot of competition. They're fast, physical, rock flying types. Let me actually quickly confirm that I'm not forgetting any, but I believe it's just those and then Minior. And only the shield form of Minior will be rock flying. The comet forms, or whatever, the meteor forms will be elementally typed, which is going to be super awesome. I'm excited to get to those eventually in a billion years. Probably like a couple months I'd get there. 4 or 5 months I get to Alola. Regardless, Archeops has Reckless and Hustle, and therefore, is going to have Reckless and Hustle, and therefore, giving Aerodactyl Headstrong is just kind of redundant and boring, and so I'm not doing it. It's these abilities are so much more fitting and so much cooler. He doesn't really need Rockhead, or in this case, Headstrong rather. What is this remix? Not a fan of this. No timestamps either, really. Sorry, y'all. This fucking sucks, dude. Just put this fucking good old reliable. All right, sorry, y'all. I got a little sidetracked. Aerodactyl, great Pokemon though. Oh my god, it is so strong now. So super cool. Aerodactyl base form's kind of lame. Mega Aerodactyl's cooler, but ability wise, so that's the logic for why Headstrong is no longer why Rockhead / Headstrong is no longer on this Pokemon and why it doesn't have Brave Bird. Trust me, he has tons of great flying stuff. I'll cover that in a second. Not only do you have Airlate, but you also have regular flying moves that are great. Strongjaw and Aerolate are on pre-Mega Aerodactyl, and then those become Sheer Force and Intimidate respectively. So no more Tough Claws. Instead, I decided Sheer Force makes way more sense and also boosts things that Tough Claws doesn't boost. For example, Rock Slide, Stone Edge is actually not Sheer Force boosted anymore because it's a crit move now, but Rock Slide most importantly. Tough Claws also has Rock Climb and stuff, so it's not the end of the world, and also Jagged Fangs would be Tough Claws boosted, so you could argue Tough Claws is better because Tough Claws boosts Dive Bomb while Sheer Force does not. And you would technically be right, but I just logically didn't like Tough Claws on it. He does not even have claws. I mean, base Aerodactyl has these pussy little baby hands, and then those turn into giant stones. They're not even hands. I don't like Tough Claws on it. I prefer Sheer Force. It makes more sense, just based on the design and the dex entries and everything, and just what he is as a Pokemon. Intimidate. So all of these abilities are like perfectly fitting. Like I'm really happy with just like the logic of them all, like and the way they look. Like it's just very perfect for Aerodactyl. Super satisfied with that. So I will cover each ability individually. But stat wise, base Aerodactyl is much stronger. 125 base attack now because of all the dex injuries. And look at him. I mean, look at this fucking guy. He should be strong. He's 6 foot long and 130 pounds, and you got these giant saw-like teeth, which is why base form has strong jaw. Because Mega also has strong jaw. I mean, look at that chin. But I think base form having strong jaw and then Mega getting Sheer Force boosting more moves is better. Excuse me, not to say that strong jaw is like worse or better than Sheer Force, because obviously the boost is much stronger. But the thing is, literally every single strong jaw move is Sheer Force boosted besides Psychic Fangs, so kind of redundant there. But that doesn't make it bad. It's very good. Regardless, Base Aerodactyl is definitely better than Mega Aerodactyl in a lot of cases because of the abilities, but the main advantage of Mega Aerodactyl is, number one, it's technically probably stronger, although I'm almost positive that Choice Banded Strongjaw Base Aerodactyl with Jagged Fangs is much stronger than Sheer Force Jagged Fangs on Mega Aerodactyl. It's probably much stronger. The advantage being that Sheer Force boosts different moves than Strongjaw does, so you can kind of pick and choose, do I need my rock type stab and my Psychic Fangs, Fire Fang, Ice Fang, Thunder Fang, Poison Fang, Crunch to be stronger? Or do I need like Aqua Tail, Iron Tails, and Headbutt, all these other moves to be stronger, Rock Slide, etc. So it's really pick or choose. It works. And the good thing is that all of the Strongjaw moves are Sheer Force boosted, so you can run Pre-Mega Strongjaw and click Jagged Fangs. Although I'm pretty sure that Sheer Force, without, like, for example, if you don't have a boosting item on base Aerodactyl, like if you're running a Mega Stone on Aerodactyl and you don't Mega Evolve, meaning you have no boosting item, I'm pretty sure Sheer Force Jagged Fangs with 150 base attack is much stronger than 125 base attack with Strongjaw. But it actually might be kind of close. And I'm out of pure curiosity. This is not really that important. I'm just really curious. I believe it would be really close, but I'm pretty sure Mega would edge it out there with no item on base Aerodactyl. Obviously, with the item, it becomes really powerful, though. So let's just do 150 base attack with 438 plus. All right, now we're going to do 125, 383. Oh, and we got another 1.5 on top of this. Because of stab. That's not how this works, but I'm just doing this roughly. Yeah, very close, very, very close. So that tells you how powerful Strongjaw is. That Strongjaw Jagged Fangs is literally just as strong, almost, as Big Aerodactyl with no item. The second you put any boosting item on Aerodactyl, it's strong. Probably Muscle Band Strongjaw Aerodactyl has stronger bite moves than Mega Aerodactyl. So that puts it into context. So that is more useful because you have item freedom, which is really important in this hack. Not to mention you won't get the Mega until later anyways. It's really strong, so it'll be relatively late game. Not super late game, but relatively, probably the mid end of the third hour, beginning of Pony, something like that. We'll see. That's an issue for another day to figure out, but yeah. It's really powerful. The main advantage of Mega Aerodactyl being the abilities and the speed is huge. 130 speed is already blistering, but 150 is nuts. I'll have to add them to the speed tier guide. Almost forgot. Let me do that right now. I'll do that while I talk. So yeah, they're super quick. You don't even need to run the speed investment sometimes, or you can like min-max speed. So for example, on Mega Aerodactyl, all you have to do is, or both Aerodactyls really, you can be really smart with your EVs, and for specific boss fights, you can just use the wings to get +4/+4, and then the proteins give you, or the regular vitamins give you 126, so you use those twice. But what you can do is use like an EV reset berry, and then customize your EV spreads really nicely that way. So that's really nice to have, like super nice. It should be a little bit tinier. Because again, you can run limited speed investment on your Aerodactyl and then run bulk. So base Aerodactyl can run like Assault Vest. So base Aerodactyl is actually specially bulkier than Mega Aerodactyl with Assault Vest, but pure Mega Aerodactyl is much physically bulkier than Aerodactyl. Not even in thinking about Intimidate, just based off the physical defense because of all these giant jagged rocks all over his body. It makes total sense. And as for Intimidate, that makes him so much bulkier. So basically, with your main abilities on Mega Aerodactyl, you're trading between the sheer power of Sheer Force, or Intimidate's utility. And both of those are excellent, and you will be frequently using ability capsules to switch between the two, depending on what you need for the English, for the situation. Gosh, I hate how I talk so fast sometimes. So that is about that. I mean, like, I don't even need to go through every Sheer Force boosted move, but I will go over the flying type Sheer Force boosted moves because there is only one physical flying Sheer Force boosted move, I believe. I know there's only one that Aerodactyl has, but there might be one more that I'm forgetting that like is. Yeah, sorry. There's like Pluck. No, Pluck isn't either. Peck technically, Bounce technically. But those are not like reliable. It's in terms of reliable ones that you can spin. Oh, Brave Bird is. I'm stupid. Yeah. Oh, and Sky Attack actually is Sheer Force boosted, although you wouldn't really want to use Sky Attack on Mega because you can't run Power Up. Not to say that you couldn't. You could do it. I just wouldn't recommend it. It could work though, because it is Sheer Force boosted, so it is very powerful. But you're always gonna have 2 turns. Acrobatics is also not good on the Mega, but the Mega has Sheer Force boosted dual wing beat. And dual wing beat is already amazing. So dual wing beat is now 45 base power, 100% accurate, and each hit is a 50% chance to flinch. So overall, that's a 27% chance to flinch overall, which is very high. It's almost a 30% chance to flinch. And again, you're hitting twice, so you're bypassing Cobra Berry, you're bypassing Sturdy, you're bypassing Multiscale. All of these things are getting bypassed on the second hit. It's great. And yeah, dual beat is super reliable, one of your best flying moves besides aerolate moves. And obviously you have Die Bomb right here, which is the flying type equivalent to high jump kick, and it's much stronger. But you don't have the added effect of hitting twice, you're not as accurate, and if you miss, you're kind of fucked. So unless you're running like Rock Polish or Wide Lens or Home Claws, I would not recommend using Dive Bomb, personally. If you're not doing a Nuzlocke, click Dive Bomb all the fuck you want, go ahead. But if you're doing a Nuzlocke, I would not recommend it unless you're using Wide Lens or something else, which is not a bad item on it at all. But well, you know, you can totally run like Dive Bomb with Wide Lens and Stone Edge and Gunk Shot and all these other slightly inaccurate moves. But yeah, that's about it for Mega Aerodactyl. Dual Wing Beat is extremely powerful with the Sheer Force boost. Without the Sheer Force boost, it would already be very powerful, but obviously with the Sheer Force boost, it is really great, and it makes up for losing Aerolate when you Mega Evolve. So Aerolate is great, man. Aerolate is so good. So with Aerolate, you have Quick Attack, which becomes 60 base power, so it's stronger than Aerolace. Aerolace is 55 base power, but Aerolace is +2 priority, so I would recommend probably using Aerolace, but you know, Quick Attack is always there as a nice option, maybe Movie Learner or something, although by the time you get to Movie Learner, you'll have E-Speed, so it's not really a factor. Oh yeah, E-Speed is nuts, by the way, 96 base power, +4 priority. I mean, I don't even need to explain why that's great. Sorry, +3 priority rather, to outpace like Sucker Punch and the other +2 priority moves. But it doesn't outpace First Impression because that you can only use once when you first switch in, so it's only fair that First Impression outpaces Extreme Speed. I believe it already did, actually. Oh, I might have actually not, but it should, in terms of like being fair. Regardless, tons of great coverage, man. Oh, so much great coverage, even just with Strong Jaw. So with Strong Jaw, you have Stab Jagged Fangs. Like I said, it's also Sheer Force boosted, so Jagged Fangs is 85 base power, and has a 30% chance to drop defense. So that's really useful. And 85 base power times 1.5 with Strong Jaw is 128 base power. So you have moves that are much stronger, much stronger than, like, I believe Stone Edge, despite, you know, Stone Edge is obviously great because it crits and all that stuff, so it bypasses like stat drops and all that crap. But Jagged Fangs with Strong Jaw is more accurate and more reliable, and is 128 base power, so it's 8 base power stronger than Stone Edge is with the crit effect, being 80 base power, 100% crit rate. So that's really great. You have other priority, but you're not really going to be using it too much. I mean, you're a fast mon, you don't need it, but it is nice to have. It's nice to have the option for sure. You have Dragon Answer set up late game, which is nuts on both forms, although you are super fast already, so you don't need it. No, English, man. You don't need it. But it's still useful. But Aerolate is excellent. So as I was saying, Quick Attack, Headbutt is there, but by the time you get Aerodactyl, you're already probably going to have the Retaliate TM. It's just here for flavor because, you know, he needs it. You know, he uses his head to hit or whatever the fuck. It doesn't matter. Excuse me, that was a yucky word. Retaliate is, so I'm going to go over all their Aerolate moves now. So Quick Attack, I already said. Headbutt is there. I mean, I guess technically a Headbutt could be better than Retaliate with the flinch chance. Aerolate Headbutt becomes 96, 75 base power now. So yeah, oh no, sorry, 90. So Aerolate Headbutt is a 90 base power. It's like basically Dual Wing Beat, but only hits once, but with Aerolate. So I mean, that you know, technically Dual Wing Beat's better. I would choose that instead. Slightly less chance to flinch, but it hits twice. So, and it's also useful on Strong Jaw sets. Meanwhile, you know, Headbutt's useless without Aerolate. So Headbutt's not impact there, but Quick Attack is there. Also kind of redundant with Aerolate, but it's there. Now your major, actual, really good Aerolate options. So I'll go TMs first, then I'll do a level up. So Rage. Rage is 80 base power, but you get a +1 attack boost each time you get hit, each time you click it. So that becomes 96 base power with Aerolate, and each time you get hit with Rage, like each time as long as you used Rage that turn, if you get hit that turn, it's like stamina, essentially. It basically gives you stamina, but for attack for that turn. So anytime you get hit by any move or take damage or whatever, you're getting that +1 attack stat. And that's excellent. That is so good. Rage is really cool. I love Rage. Really cool move. I'm happy I buffed it. Super fun to use. And that's a TM, so you can always just toggle that on and off. If you need if you need the raw power of Retaliate, you have Retaliate. If you need Rage for the stat boost, then you use Rage. It's super easy. Retaliate is 95 base power, and that doubles to 180 base power. Sorry, 190 base power rather, when something just died. Not great for Nuzlockers, but it's still nice to have. But in general, it's it's basically the return replacement, being slightly weaker, 7 more points weaker than return, but it has the amazing extra effect of Also, you don't have to worry about happiness, which can be annoying. So overall, much better and much cooler than return, and that is really powerful. That becomes 114 base power with Aerodactyl, and that becomes 240, 114, 228 base power when something just fainted. So Aerodactyl on the revenge kill is fucking crazy, dude. I love Retaliate. It's such a cool move. Now with the buff, it would be overpowered as fucking competitive, obviously, but this is not competitive. So this is balanced technically with Nuzlocke in mind, which is why it's so strong. So AI can shit on you with it. Same thing with the Pursuit buff. AI very rarely switches out. So Pursuit is not that great for the A player. It's just 70 base power, which is useful for mid game or early game. But when AI has Pursuit, it's nuts because that's a 140 base power move that catches you on the switch. And also Aerodactyl can use that technically. Not super relevant here. Back to what I was saying. Aerolate. So Retaliate, Rage, Giga Impact, and Strength, and Last Resort. Last Resort is post game. Don't worry about it too much. It's niche. You can use a move deleter and to delete all your moves and have 140 base power pre-Aerolate boost and just click it. It's no drawback free, really strong, but it's very niche and it's gimmicky, and it's also you can't run any other moves. You could totally do like a first impression into Last Resort set if you wanted to, but it's just there for just because it's cool. But your main other two Aerolate options by TM / tutor is Giga Impact and Strength. Giga Impact becomes 192 base power with Aerolate because it's 160 base power times 1.2 is 192. Yes, and then you can actually have that for the second hit. So your second time you use Giga Impact, it'll still be 96 base power flying move. So that's still strong. That's stronger than non-Aerolate dual wing beat. That's stronger than Skydrop. Skydrop is 95 base power. If you're wondering, I would prefer dual wing beat, but Skydrop has the use technically of like stalling turns. It has the use of technically being stronger than dual wing beat on strong draw sets, but the downside is number one, it's 2 turns. Even if they can't attack during those turns, the main drawback though is that it fails if the mon is like significantly heavier than you, which is stupid. So that's why it's not that great. That's why I made it so strong. I could have even made it stronger honestly, but the main reason I made it 95 base power is because it's also a hustle move. So for hustle Pokemon, Skydrop is excellent. But anyways, yeah. What was I saying? Acrobat. Okay, no, sorry. I was talking about Aerolate moves first. So, like I said, Giga Impact is very, very strong. And then you can also use like Aerolate Giga Impact plus Stone Edge because Stone Edge crits and it ignores the attack drop. So you can use Aerolate Giga Impact, do 192 base power flying move, and then click Stone Edge and crit right through your attack drop. Although -2 attack, Giga Impact is still a really strong move. So, yeah. After the second hit, then you're gonna start to want to use Stone Edge or switch out or whatever the fuck you might do, or run White Herb, whatever it is. Power Herb is also viable because they have. Oh man, I'm so excited! So I can tell you to level up in a second. That's it. Yeah. Strength. Strength is normal type close combat. Very straightforward. It becomes 144 base power with Aerolate, and it's just close combat. It's really strong. Really, really solid. Very, very reliable. But then by level up, you have Flail, which is niche but very strong. Becomes 220 base power with Aerolate at max power, and you can use that with a Focus Sash or Endure set. So you can run Endure plus Weakness Policy Aerodactyl with Flail and just kill shit. It is really strong. So Endure, Weakness Policy, or Focus Sash, Lychee Berry with the attack berry, whatever you want to do. Tons of things you can do with Flail. It's actually really useful, and it's really fast, so you don't even need to run Slack. You can just kill shit on your own. Slash is 70 base power, has a 50% chance to crit. So if you run a Scope Lens on Aerodactyl, you can always crit Slash, which is stab with Aerolate, and Jagged Edge, so you have dual stab, 100% crit moves, which are nice just to have as an option, although Jagged Fangs is with strong draws better. But it's just nice to have. Maybe you don't want to worry about Intimidate or something, and you just want to be able to crit through shit. It's nice to have it. Slash becomes 84 base power before you crit. So it's an 84 base power, 50% crit flying move. And that, when you crit, so for example, if you're running Scope Lens Slash with Aerolate, that becomes 126 base power. So that is very powerful as well. And then you get the Chad move, Skull Bash. I love what I did with Skull Bash. Such a cool move now. So what Skull Bash does now is it's still 130 base power, but this is not relevant, but it doesn't miss. It's not relevant here though, because Aerodactyl was not up Hustle. But with Hustle mods, it's fucking dirty. Aerodactyl does not matter if it can't miss, but what does matter is that you get the +1 defense on the first turn still. So basically there's a bunch of viable ways you can run Skull Bash. You can do raw Skull Bash is what I like to call it, or like, you know, brave Skull Bash, whatever the fuck you want to call it, where it's basically you're not running power herb. You're just getting that +1 defense on the first turn, taking whatever hit they're using at you, and then firing off the Skull Bash on the second turn. So with Aerolate, Skull Bash becomes 156 base power flying type move. Yes, it takes 2 turns, but the main advantage is you're getting +1 defense on the first turn, and then on the second turn after you attack, not before. Thankfully, before you attack would be kind of overpowered. It's almost like Meteor Beam in a way. This move, it's so cool the way it functions. I love it. It's so fun. So powerful. It's not even a gimmick. Like, it's genuinely really good. So what you can do is run Skull, especially because you're fast. So you can just run Skull Bash +1 defense. Then you get the +1 attack and accuracy, and you can use that with inaccurate moves, like I said earlier, Stone Edge, Gung Shot, Dive Bomb, all that stuff. Or you can just ignore the accuracy boost and just run it with just get the attack boost. So essentially, you're getting a coil boost on top of the 156 base power flying move. The only downside is it takes 2 turns, which can be bypassed with either a power herb or just ignoring it because you get a defense boost on the first turn. So who cares, you know? Such an awesome move. I'm so happy with how that turned out. So that's a great option on Aerodactyl. Lastly, you have 3 more things to cover for Aerolate. So you have Whiplash, which is 85 base power, and it always drops defense. So that's just a really strong, solid, reliable move. It's weaker than Retaliate at first, but the second hit will become stronger than Retaliate. So pick and choose. Retaliate also a TM. So again, if you need immediate damage, run Retaliate. If you can afford to wither them down, you can run Whiplash. Usually I'd say it's better on bulkier mons, but Aerodactyl isn't super frail. With Assault Vest, it's pretty bulky, or Mega Aerodactyl with Intimidate is very bulky. You can also run Aerodactyl in the sand. Mega Aerodactyl in the sand is extremely bulky. With 85 base special defense, it's not great on its own, and it can't run Assault Vest, but you can invest in there because you have 150 base speed. You know, you're not always going to need to run max speed investment. For example, if you're fighting a trainer and their highest speed mon is base 110, you only need to speed creep base 110 Pokemon. So then you can throw the rest of your EVs into HP and become bulkier, or special defense and become bulkier, and you can run a sand team and just really go to town. It's so cool. Regardless, Whiplash is there. Then you have 2 more things to cover for Aerolate. So you have Double Edge, which is stronger than Strength. So same thing. Basically, Double Edge, the advantage is, number 1, it's Sheer Force boosted, although it's normal type, so it's not that great on Mega Aerodactyl. But with Aerolate, Double Edge becomes 150 base power now because it's 125 base power, and it has a 50% chance to drop defense. So this is effectively a 150 base power move. It's basically like Head Smash. With Aerolate, it's like Head Smash level stab, but without the defense dropping effect. So it's great. Head Smash is the same thing, but it drops. The Head Smash is essentially close combat and, you know, the recoil moves in one. So I will show all of the recoil moves right now. If you guys are curious, these are all of them. I'm sure you guys can always just look at the sheets and look at this yourself if you don't have them memorized by now. But yeah, these are all 125. Then there's the 110. So you have Rock Climb by TM, which is really powerful. Another really cool thing you can do, also Wild Charge for coverage, Thunderfang, which I'll cover Strong Jaw in a second. But a really cool thing you can do now is, what was I saying? I lost my train of thought. Hand Smash, Wreck, Sheer Force, Relate, Strong Draw. What the hell was I just saying, man? Damn, what the hell? My train of thought just completely crashed. That is unfortunate. Oh, I remember now. So, bulkier sets are viable. I'll cover it even more in a little bit, but you can do actually, I'll just cover it right now because you guys I already talked about extreme speed actually. So that's all the Aerolate options, all right? Head Smash, Double Edge with Aerolate is powerful as hell. Oh, I remember now what I was really going to talk about. So, Shell Bell is buffed to heal 20% now. So, what that means is the 20% recoil moves essentially have no recoil when you're running a Shell Bell. So, Rock Climb, for example, is a 20% recoil one-time base power move, and that's also Sheer Force boosted, by the way. So it's arguably better than Rock Slide. Rock Slide is 95 base power, 95% accurate, and they both have the same flinch rate. So if you want the recoil, then run. If you're okay with the recoil, run the recoil. If you're okay with the 5% chance to miss, then run the 5% chance to miss in the weaker move. I would prefer Rock Climb because it's consistent and you can really calculate how much recoil you're taking. I don't like the inconsistency of the 5% chance to miss in a Nuzlocke. It's super risky, but to each their own. On a bulkier mon, you could definitely get away with it, but on a fast mon, I mean, not that Aerodactyl's frail, but you're wanting to kill whatever's in front of you and outspeed it. You're not wanting to take the hit unless you have to, typically, or you want to set up whatever it is. It's situational, but yeah. Another cool thing. So okay, I remember what I was saying now. So Shell Bell is good. Is my point with Wild Charge and Rock Climb and Takedown as well. Those are all 110 base power, 20% recoil. However, Head Smash, Double Edge are both 25% recoil. So you're technically taking, basically with a Shell Bell, you're taking 5% recoil, which is like nothing. You'll be fine. It's nothing. So Shell Bell is great, or you could just run a boosting item for the damage, or any other item, whatever it is, you know, situational, case by case. You have full customizability. Intelligent, smart players will swap their items and swap their abilities and swap their moves frequently, swap their EV spreads frequently. You know, you got to take advantage of what you got, especially if you start to struggle, if you start to hit a roadblock, you can't beat a battle. There's always a way to do it. I can guarantee you, even with your 6 Pokemon, you will be able to do it. If you're not doing a Nuzlocke for sure, you can literally just team lock your team, and you will be able to figure out a way. With any 6 Pokemon, I could literally take a random wheel of all the Mons when I'm done with all the changes and give it to you, and then force you to use that team, and then pull RNG a random boss battle, and then, you know, match their level cap, and then get all the available TMs and whatever the fuck you can get at that point in the game. And I guarantee you, there's probably multiple ways to beat it with that team, because of how good every Pokemon is and because of how many options you have now. Especially if you're not doing a Nuzlocke. If you're talking about doing a Deathless, might be kind of harder. Although you could still probably do a Deathless, or at least with minimal death. But if you're doing that team lock little hypothetical, you can definitely do it without wiping if you are playing your cards right and you are being intelligent about it. So I don't know why I got on that little side tangent, but yeah, jeez. Yeah, air-related coverage. Strong Jaw is very straightforward, just powerful as fuck. Jagged Fangs for stab. That stacks. It's not like adaptability. So it's a fucking English. It's a 50% boost, so it becomes 2.25 with Strong Jaw. So Jagged Fangs is stab, and then you have coverage. 85 base power Psychic Fangs, 85 base power Crunch, become 128 base power. So you have Dark and Psychic, 128 base power moves with Strong Jaw, and then you have Fire, Ice, Thunder, and Poison Fang, all of which will become, I believe, 112. Yeah, 113 technically, 113 base power, which is also really powerful. I mean, for coverage, like Fire type 113 base power move, Ice, you know, all this great stuff, and they have a high flinch rate and a high, not high, but you know, a chance to status. Poison Fang is a 50% chance to toxic poison, which is great. And these are all TMs. That's the beauty. So Crunch and Jagged Fangs are not, but Psychic Fang, Fire Fang, Ice Fang, Thunder Fang, Poison Fang are all TMs, which is so useful to have, truly useful. To be able to just swap those on and off with Strong Jaw. That's the beauty. It's customizable as hell. Sheer Force moves is, you guys know, most moves are Sheer Force boosted. Not all though. Sheer Force boosted Rapid Fire. I'll just quickly rapid fire all the Sheer Force boosted moves they have. So quickly, I'll just say them all because I know it off the top of my head. Crunch, Dual Wing Beat, Jagged Fangs, False Strike, technically, Skull Bash, technically you're not using those with Sheer Force sets. It's bad. I'm only gonna list the relevant stuff, not the ones that always boost your stats. Whiplash is bad with Sheer Force. On a stab, if it was stab, it would be good because you get an immediate 30% boost as opposed to a 30% boost on the second hit, because -1 defense is essentially just a 1/3 drop. So like Sheer Force Whiplash or Sheer Force Lunge, in this case, Lunge is a good coverage move. Sheer Force Lunge is genuinely good. After 2 turns, you're doing less damage than a non-Sheer Force Lunge, but the first turn is stronger and then the second hit is just as strong, so you're getting more net damage, so it's really important. Who is trying to FaceTime me? Group chat. I'll just ignore that for now. I'll answer that after this video, maybe. I really have to pee anyway, so I might just wrap this video up. I've been holding it pee like the whole video. I stay very hydrated. That's pretty much it. I mean, like I said, non-aerolate moves is aerial ace. I dropped the Wing Beat, Dive Bomb, and Acrobatics is good on like maybe Strong Jaw sets. You could totally run like a Flail. Well, actually, no, you wouldn't want to do that. Never mind. You could run like a Sash DD acrobatic set maybe or something like that, you know, whatever you want to do. I was talking about Sheer Force moves, yeah. So I already said Jagged Fangs, Dragon Rush technically is 30% chance to flinch still. It's Dragon Rush is essentially Dragon type close combat, so it's not stab, so it's kind of useless unless you're hitting Dragon types, but it's nice to have the strong move. I made it very early on, level 53, so that's very strong early on for how strong it is. Other Sheer Force boosted moves. Double Edge technically, but you're not really going to use that on Sheer Force sets. Although if you had like a Mega Aerodactyl with Aerolate, and then you wanted to Mega Evolve that Aerodactyl in the next boss fight, you could keep Double Edge and have it as like a neutral hit on something, so that's okay. That's it for level up Sheer Force, but by TM you have Rock Tomb, Rock Slide, and Rock Climb, as well as Iron Head, Bulldoze, Wild Charge, Takedown, Gunk Shot, Hell Thrust, Aqua Tail, Iron Tail, Zen Headbutt, Lunge, Fire Fang, Ice Fang, Thunder Fang, Poison Jab. Those are all Sheer Force boosted moves. So Those are all getting a flat 30% boost from Sheer Force. Super powerful. Oh, Steel Wing as well, but you're not using Steel Wing on Sheer Force sets. You use Iron Head. Steel Wing always boosts your defense by 1, so that's great for bulky sets. You can run like Roost. Also, that's another thing. So that's the last thing I want to talk about. Then we're done. I remember now what I wanted to say. Bulky sets are great. Mega Aerodactyl with Intimidate. Like I said, you can run Assault Vest on pre-Mega. You can run Sand Team. You can run all kinds of really good stuff. But the best thing is just Intimidate on the Mega Arrow with min-maxed speed investment, meaning you're only speed creeping whatever is in front of you. So you probably, I mean, most fights are going to have room for HP investment, most fights, because of how fast it is naturally. So again, for example, let's say an opponent has speed tier guy. Let's go to speed tier guy. Let's say you're fighting a boss fight and their fastest Pokemon is a Fearow. Okay, let's for hypothetically, just random mon I chose. 112 base speed. All right, so 112. That's 355 when maxed out, okay? So all we have to do is hit 355. You're faster without investment, so there you fucking go. You can run 0 investment and outspeed. It's excellent. It's truly excellent, and that makes Mega Aerodactyl so much bulkier with the potential for HP investment. So, and also base Aerodactyl. So I'll even talk about here. I'll talk about base Aerodactyl. So 130. So 355 was 112, right? 355 we have to hit. Okay, so not that much investment. Probably about, yeah, I guessed about right. 112. 108 is equal, right? Yeah, 112. 112 EVs is all you need. And then now you can run 252 attack or whatever, and then you can run the rest. I'm too lazy to do the math in my head, but the rest of the EVs can go in HP or special defense or whatever the fuck. You know, you can run an assault vest set with all of the because assault vest sets are better when you do a special defense investment because of the way the math works. So you can get a lot of leverage out of that. Super great mon, man. It's so cool. Also, the reason for the 550 base stat total as opposed to 525 like the other Gen 1 fossils is because all of the dragon fossils, all of the dinosaur fossil Pokemon have 550 base stat totals because they're fucking dinosaurs. And they're big, and they're strong, and they need the stat total, especially Tyrantrum and Aurorus. And Rampardos and Bastiodon, all of them will be 550 base stat total. And also, Aerodactyl's always been strong of the other fossils, so it fits fine. And he's also obtained a lot later than these ones are, so. Not to say that these ones are bad. I mean, dude, fuck a Kabutops kills Aerodactyl. I mean, the other way around too. You know, obviously there's a lot of items. That's why I love Pokemon. It's like a big fucking, it's like a giant game of chess with cool fucking monsters and a billion variables, and then a little bit of hacks and bullshit luck in there thrown in there. But overall, it's like a giant chess game, which I love. I think that's about it. Bulky sets are great. Like I said, you got Battle Cry, which drops all offenses by 2. So that's great for utility sets. You can use Battle Cry, Roost sets. Roar gives you +2 attack, and is also, so essentially Roar and Whirlwind are now 1 PP, but they have +2, +6 or whatever the fuck, +4 priority rather. So they're outpacing all attacking moves besides Fake Out and First Impression. So, you know, that's great for AI. They can stop sweeps instantly just by clicking the move once, and it only has 1 PP, so they're not going to spam it. So obviously, if it had more than 1 PP, it would be broken because you could just set up an entry hazard and, you know, kill their entire team with entry hazards. Even if it only had 5 PP, it would be pretty stupid. So one-time use. I consider giving them 2 PP. Comment down below if you want them to have 2 PP. I think it would be kind of annoying if they had more than 1 PP. I think just the one-time pivot out, one-time forcing you out priority is cool. And the great thing is the Z effect is extra free because you're forcing them out of the fucking field. So they are not damaging you at all that turn. They don't get any attacks off unless they hit Fake Out or Protect or whatever the fuck else they want to use. You know, that prioritizes you. Otherwise, you're golden. You're getting a free +2 attack. They don't have Swords but they do have Dragonets, and they have Roar for +2 attack, and they have Skull Bash and False Strike for attack boost as well, and all this other really fun shit. Parting Shot is also great. Parting Shot, Roost, Battle Cry, all that good stuff for bulky sets. You know, you can even set up rocks or whatever. This mon would be so, I mean, all of these mons would be nasty as fucking competitive and ridiculously overpowered. But yeah, I think that's about it. Covered about everything. Thanks for listening. Oh yeah, other stuff, I guess, like Leer, Scary Face with more utility. That's about it though. I don't want to take too much else time. I think I covered literally everything. So thanks for listening, and we're almost done, man. We literally just have Snorlax, the legendary birds, and the Pseudo and Mew. So see you guys then.